I wanted to talk about a couple quick changes to some of the applications. At least some fairly important ones. I got some really good feedback on one of the applications, the Papyrus utility, uh, where where it would be nice if, as you're playing your game, and entries are written into the Papyrus log, if it would automatically update that in the utility. I went ahead and implemented that. It's a really good suggestion. I went ahead and implemented that. So now as you're playing the game, this information here will recalculate where it has the entries and all of that. Let's see if I can get all this visible. I don't think I can. Let's see if I can make this wide enough. Um, can I? Can I? There we go. Yeah. So this will update as you play. Now, one thing I've noticed when playing the game is that whenever you save your game, so if you do like a regular game save, you don't have to exit your game, you just need to save it. I didn't see it trigger as much with a quick save as I did with a regular save, where you hit escape and then you just save your game. And then that also updates, that triggers an update for that I guess that I'm assuming that that's when Bethesda actually writes a lot of entries into that log. And also when it closes, it dumps out, it flushes any entries that have yet to be written to the log file. So as you're playing your game, you can do a save, kick back out. You can just leave this running in the background, and whenever you hit save, it'll detect if the Papyrus log has changed. If it has, it reloads and recalculates everything. So everything should be kept up to date. All of this should be completely up to date, and that's the full log there, just to kind of show you. Everything should be up to date, and yeah, it recalculated. Okay, that's one of the things I wanted to kinda share. Also, another thing I did is I'm moving a lot of these applications over to use the game's custom library, where I open the game, and that gives me access to things like, where logs are stored, where F4SC or script extender, because it should work with Oblivion, it should work with OBSC and all of that. That's all configured. It's in the configuration file, and these configurations can be shared among users. That's coming up. I'm gonna have a video about that showing how you can easily, share information with each other. How one person who has a configuration for a game can say, "Okay, here's the game configurations." You just drag and drop them. Just drag and drop them into into your form. Just drag and drop, and it'll know that it's a tag, and it'll automatically update that information. That's kind of built in now, but I want to change the header, which tells what the tag is, identifies the tag, and the tag's target, things like that. I want to make that a little bit easier to read, less positional parameters, and more floating with keywords, kind of like a keyword equals value kind of a situation. So that's coming up. Hopefully, I can have that laid out by the end of this week. That's kind of like what I'm shooting for, so I'll just kind of have to wait and see. All right, so that's that one, and this affects 4 of these programs, these applications. It'll affect Papyrus utility, Buffout utility. It will affect the conflict utility, and it affects the package utility. The package utility doesn't really use necessarily anything for games, but the build package methods are in the game's library, so that necessitated its inclusion. But it's no big deal because this whole thing comes with all the libraries and everything that's needed. One of the other things I wanted to show everyone was, if you're using the Papyrus log utility, a Buffout log utility, you can still go in and you see where it says read. It's kind of faint here on my screen. Read text file. All right. So here you can go in and you can give me this window here, and you can literally open. See, load order text. So let's say this is something somebody posts. You can literally open a text file. That's what read text file does. It just puts it in a list. So once it's in this list, you can literally go in and filter for SS2 incompatibility. So you could look for any mods that might not be compatible in that load order with SS2. So it has that, and you can read any other kind of log or any other kind of text file. It doesn't have to be a load order. It can be any text file. It just it just loads it and presents it in this format where you could do things like a find. See, you could do things like find. So they double down as a nice little interface to do a little bit more research, if you want, if you want to call it that. To add that is very, very easy. It's incredibly easy. Let's say one program doesn't have that feature, but it does have a menu. So let's open up, let me take a look. This is what? Papyrus. So what we want is Papyrus utility any. Okay, let's open this up. Okay, so this is the any file for it. Down here, you'll actually see in items, see where it says default menu. This is what pops up when items are clicked on. So you see where it says open log, blah, blah, but here it says read text file. So this is the text that you see in the menu. This is the function code that is called. If a percent sign question mark is called, you're telling the function that you need to prompt them for the file. Otherwise, if you put an absolute file name in here, like let's say I do something like this, and these don't have to be in quotes, but let's say I do something like this, then that is going to open and allow me to read the current buff out log I have in memory, just as an example, the current one that's loaded. Now that I look at that, I don't really need, I need to take this out because this is where I do a lot of copy and paste. This doesn't really apply to the Papyrus log. So yeah, I'm gonna remove that. But here, if you take a look down here, yeah, look down here, because to remove this, we're just going to do this. And it will no longer be in the menu. And then I'll put that in in the next package. That's one of the downsides of copy and paste, man. All right. So, but here we go. So that's all there is to it, because this code right here, it's function 7630. That says that I want to load a text file and read it. And then this is where you put the parameter that you want to send that function or that method. So again, if you go back to just this, it's going to prompt for the file. Like down here, it prompts for, and some are positional. I think in a previous video, I called them relational, but actually it's more positional parameters. So these are positional because I look for actually index positions. To make them non-positional, I would need to preface them with a keyword of some type, and that's possible. Adds a little bit of complexity. Maybe sometime in the future, it might be something to do just for the fun of it. But for right now, they're positional. But yeah, to read any text file, you just need to put this line in. So if, for example, in FOMOD, I don't even know if the FOMOD has that in there. Let's take a look. Let's grab this one. So here's the FOMOD thing. Yeah, where's items? Yeah, see, it doesn't have one. So if I wanted to open up a text file to view, like let's say I wanted to see this, all I would need to do is go over here, grab this. You don't need the comments or anything, just grab this. And we're just going to copy and paste. See, items menu, this is the default. And we're just going to copy and paste it right in. We're going to put a, let's do this. Let's put this up here. And let's put this above the other, so that way this comes first. I want to make that menu come first. And to separate it, we just want to put a little dash, just a single dash. And the software turns that into a menu separator. That's how it knows. And that's it. And that's all you need to do. And now when you run the program, it should prompt for the file. I believe I have that in there. Some may not. I may have not put it in there initially, but let's check it out. Let's see. Uh, let's see. Where are we? Select folder. Yeah, I don't see it yet. It must be based on item. Let me see. What did I do here? What did I do here? I believe it must be because I may not have an item. I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay, so what did we do? What did we do? So I can see full view. Huh. Oh, it must have needed an item. Yeah, these don't have an item yet. Oh, no, 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 no. I know what this is. I know why this didn't work. Because these are specific. I don't know what I was thinking. God, see, that's what I get for not thinking in the morning. Packages. See, no, 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 not that one. Not that one. See, again, this is what I get for thinking. I love throwing things together on the fly. Here, selections. Selections are this. That list view has the name selections, so when it sees this, it only shows the one option. And it's the same for example. This is example here. So that's why it didn't show up for those. So to get it to show up there, I would have to go up and take this out like this. Or we could leave it in there if you want, although I don't know why I want to do messages. But for example, let's go ahead and put this up here. Right, and let's do that. Okay, let's try that. Don't think we're going to need that anymore. We do have to rerun the application so it reloads the menu. These things don't auto-load. And there you go. See, read text file. So you launch it, and it's going to prompt for a text file. And that's really all it takes to add it. It's very, very simple. If you get the right menu, if you get the right one. But other than that, that's how you can build your own menus up. And if the application doesn't have a read text file, 7630 is the opcode. You can just copy and paste them in because those menus are loaded when the application loads. Now some of them will actually load on demand. I do believe that one, the actual menu loads on demand. But if you have a form that's open, like if you have a child form that's open, the injected menus are retrieved when the form is open. So if you change an injected menu, then like if you change a menu that's over in one of these files, let's see, form. We don't need that here. If you change one of these menus over here where forms are basically designed, this is a select message form. This is search for research form. These are injected. Well, not that. That's the option on how to handle the input. Here we go. These are injected. This menu here is injected. These, you have to close the child form and then you have to reopen it to reload these because these are reloaded. These are only retrieved when the form is opened. Everything else should be on demand. So literally everything else should be loaded as it's needed. So dynamic changes should apply. Okay, so I wanted to share that. Now, what that does is that allows all these different interfaces to very easily, uh, if you're in the middle of doing something, somebody uploads a load order, you can just grab it with this application here. Okay, you can grab it with this, and then that way you can apply filters. You can actually apply. I don't even know if this one doesn't really have filters that I can see, but to put the filters in, if the function codes are there, FOMOD utility, I didn't really see a need for it, but almost all the new ones are going to have that. Then that way you can filter out, let's say, an incompatibility with whatever platform you're using. So if you're using SS2 as an example, or if you're using Frost or Dust, whatever you're using. You literally can say these are mods that are not compatible, and you can quickly run that through a filter and say, okay, I've recognized 2 or 3 that are going to cause a problem. And depending on where they are in your load order, will help determine what kind of problem they're going to cause. So I kind of wanted to kind of go over a little bit of that, and and there are some changes to. There's a few improvements here and there. And like I say, these are all work in progress. So, and believe it or not, I've even got a whole list more. I've actually got a notepad to my right that no matter, it's funny. It really is funny. No matter what I work on, I keep thinking, okay, I'm gonna put all this stuff on the back burner, and I'm gonna like do some very, very easy stuff, just kind of give my brain a break. And then I wind up having a notepad saying, wait, this is a good idea. And I'll write it down. Or, hey, this is a good idea. And then next thing you know, I've got a stack of paper 2 inches thick. And I'm like, good God, what the? So then I'll throw it aside and think, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure, quote, quote, I put this in I did all this stuff. And then it builds up again. So it's just funny how development seems to do that kind of stuff. But anyways, if you guys have any suggestions or any problems, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do to fix it. Or if you got any suggestions, ideas you want me to incorporate, just let me know, and I'll see what I can come up with. Right now, I don't really rip. It's coming in the future. It's on the list of things to rip apart data files and things like that, and have more complete formats of data files so they can easily be parsed. And the parsing code is really cool, because the parsing code doesn't it's not built for Bethesda. It's not built for BSAs or BA2s or plugins. It's not built for that. It's just a format that you specify. This is the field type. I'm going to call this field ID. The type is 10 characters long, and it comes in order of occurrence. So if that's the very first thing the format sees, then it thinks then the 10 bytes of the file is the ID. And you tell what kind of data structure it is, whether it's a string, a 0 byte. You can do all kinds, and that way it can break apart any file. Now that code needs a lot more testing, and I need to refactor and clean it up, because a lot of that was thrown together, and then I created code loops so that way you could have repeating structures. And I put I looped it, so it really needs a lot more testing. But technically, you could use it to break down game saves from Baldur's Gate or anything, as long as you know the format of the data, or any binary file, as long as you know that format. It doesn't handle automatically decrypting stuff or anything like that. That's not built into it. Maybe in the future, it would be easy to say, okay, this is an encrypted file, and then you would specify the decryption. You'd have to have the sizes and the decryption algorithm to use, and then you could decrypt the data. That would be possible. All right. Well, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there and show literally how you can easily open files like load orders, and they don't have to, it could be a load order that another user uploads. You can grab that, and you can even grab a buff out log. You can look at that. I mean, there's already a buff out log utility, but you could grab that and read it as a text file, and you could search for different things, where the buff out log utility breaks it down into segments and shows you one segment at a time, or you have the full buff out log there that you could actually do that with. But this just as an example. All right. That should about cover it for this release. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great week and a great weekend to come.